Hey you guys, hope everybody's doing well today. This is Locks Lady saying I'm just coming to do a short video for you guys today talking about dreadlocks and dandruff. Common misconceptions people have about dreadlocks and dandruff. If you're a dreadlocks wearer, I'm sure that you spend a lot of time on YouTube looking for advice on how to groom, maintenance, take care of your own locks by amateurs. So I decided to start this channel for those of you who are new to it with giving professional advice about dreadlocks. So today I'm going to talk about dreadlocks and dandruff. Some of you guys who wear dreadlocks, you're probably finding that you're having issues with dry scalp, dandruff, flaking. Some of you have never had issues with dandruff or dry scalp before. So I just wanted to address that kind of briefly today. A lot of you think you have dandruff, but you don't. What you actually have is a condition called atopic dermatitis, which is a reaction to a product that's being used on your hair. Whether it's the shampoo that you're using, more than likely it's the product that you're using to twist your hair, to maintenance it, to keep your new growth under control. A lot of the products that are on the market and a lot of the really popular ones have products that are actually damaging and irritating to the scalp. More specifically, petroleum-based products, anything that says petroleum, petrolatum, all these things you can think of like Vaseline. So it's already kind of an error just in using a product that has that in it, because if you guys can ever remember a time where you used Vaseline on your scalp or put a bunch of Vaseline in your hair when you were a child, you know how many times you had to wash it to get most of it out. So when you think about that being packed into your locks, which are like a bunch of tiny little sponges, how easily can you get a product like Vaseline out of your hair? It can be kind of difficult, right? So moving on to the next ingredient is mineral oil. Sometimes you'll see it in products labeled as paraffinium liquidum. Baby oil, a lot of people don't know, but mineral oil is actually proven by science to be a carcinogen, which means it can actually cause cancer. If you don't believe me, go to Google, check it out. Not something that you want in a product that you're going to put in your hair, partially because oil and water just don't mix. That goes right back to the same issue with the petroleum and petroleum products. They don't wash out of the hair easily, so you're talking about a product that's going to cause long-term buildup in your hair, making your locks heavy, and because they're oil-based and oil and water don't mix, you're going to have a problem with your hair getting cleaned properly. So you could think of, say, if you just had a bowl of oil sitting on the counter or something. Everything that comes into contact with it, oil, dirt, pollen, dust. You know, when it comes to your hair, you're talking about dead skin flakes, pet hair, whatever comes into contact with your hair, sticking to that product that's in your hair. You'll have a really hard time washing it out. Not only that, but because oil and water don't mix, you're going to have a problem with the hair drying properly because you got a bunch of oil in there. It's going to prevent the water that's in your hair from being able to dry out and evaporate into the air properly. So because it creates kind of a barrier. So you think about, ladies, when you had a relaxer, they use a petroleum-based product on your scalp and around your edges to make a barrier so the chemical doesn't affect your scalp, right, and affect your skin. Well, same thing happens when you have a product that has mineral oil or petroleum in it. It's going to create a barrier that's going to prevent the water and soap from being able to cleanse your hair properly. So now you've got whatever's stuck to that product, you've got that petroleum and mineral oil in your hair, and it's building up over time. So the longer your locks get, the heavier they get. You wonder why your hair won't shine, because all that dirt and dust, pollen, dead scalp, and everything else is stuck to your hair. It's making your hair look dull. So what do? We go and get another oil, to spray on it to make it shine. I'm still hearing about people using oil spray sheen on their hair, which is, I'm sorry, it's kind of unbelievable to me because, you know, there are a lot of products on the market. People a lot of times go to wearing dreadlocks because it's more natural for your hair, but then you go and put a product in your hair that's completely unnatural, not organic, and won't absorb into your scalp or your hair. So over the last over 20 years that I've been doing dreadlocks, I've seen time and time again people who have what looks like dandruff in their hair is actually an irritation that the scalp is having. to the product that you're putting in it. So you want to get away from products that have mineral oil, petroleum, wax is another culprit. If you have ever been burning a candle and made a mistake and knocked it over on a carpet, what do? First thing you do is try to wash it up with soap and water, right? Doesn't work because oil and water don't mix, and neither does wax and water. So that wax is probably still in that spot in the carpet. I don't care if it was 20 years ago. What do you think it's going to do to your hair? So you can run water across wax all you want to. It's just going to bead up and roll off. Can't get hair clean that way if it's beating the water and the soap up and it's rolling off of your hair. So I just want to kind of point those things out. One more thing I wanted to touch on is alcohol. You guys, don't put alcohol-based products in your hair. I actually know of some locticians that are using products that are alcohol-based, like spritz to spray on your hair after you get your hair done. That is a severe no-no. If you have any types of issues with dry scalp, dandruff, irritated scalp, sensitive scalp, you spray spritz on it, it's going to irritate the scalp. So now you're going to have more dead skin, more flaking, the scalp is red, it's irritated, it's sore, all these type of things. So you guys take the time to think about the products that you're putting in your hair. You may not actually have dandruff. You may actually have atopic dermatitis and your scalp is irritated and having a reaction to the products that you're putting in it. So those are the big four to stay away from. Just going back to the spritz and alcohol-based products, it's going to dry it out. Alcohol is a drying agent. Anything that's dry and you twist it, it's going to break. Okay, so you don't want to put a product that's going to dry your hair out on your hair and then turn around and twist it, which of course, if you're wearing traditional palm rolled locks, you're twisting it. So you're setting yourself up for breakage and problems with your locks. So just to recap, mineral oil, petroleum-based products, wax, and alcohol-based products like spritz. Avoid all those products at all costs. All these products can actually cause irritation to your scalp and cause what looks like dandruff to occur. Now, if you've had dandruff before you started dreadlocks, you may in fact have dandruff, but that's not the end of the world. Doesn't mean that your locks have to look dirty, dusty, dull, or anything like that. But what you do want to focus on is using a product that's designed to remove that dandruff and calm the scalp. Personally, I really like Head & Shoulders 2-in-1 Dry Scalp Care. And what that does is it has a built-in conditioner so that it doesn't dry your hair out too badly while it's cleansing that dead skin, dissolving any heavy or heavy oil-based products to remove them from your hair, as well as calming the scalp so it doesn't continue to shed. Okay, so what I like to do is do two to three really good washes with the Head & Shoulders 2-in-1 Dry Scalp Care. Leave it on the scalp after you've agitated it. Scratch the scalp well enough to loosen all that dead skin so that the product can dissolve that dead skin, dissolve the product, and it can wash clean. You want to use water as hot as you can stand it, because remember, if you're talking about wax or a heavy oil-based product, you're not going to be able to get it out until you can at least warm it up enough for the water to loosen it some, and so the Head & Shoulders or whatever dandruff shampoo you prefer, it can dissolve all of that oil and dead scalp and then rinse it out as well as you can. If you're using a shampoo bowl, you want to use the pressure as high as you can stand it on the scalp. It feels good on the scalp too. But the most important thing is that you get the scalp as clean as possible. Use a medicated shampoo like a Head & Shoulders 2-in-1 Dry Scalp Care to get as much of that product out of there as possible. And then sometimes I follow up after that with regular shampoo, a sulfate-free shampoo, like the Cantu Cleansing Shampoo for Natural Hair. I really like that product. So you want to follow that up. Come behind your shampoos with the 2-in-1 Dry Scalp Care. Rinse that out really well, and then proceed to go ahead and use a water-based twisting gel for your hair. I can't stress enough, the product that you use to retwist the hair is going to end up in your locks. So if you don't use something that's going to wash out and not leave a residue in your hair, you're going to have long-term problems with the hair. Not just with the scalp, with irritation, but also with moisture problems with the hair. You're probably also seeing the hair not stay intact by the time you sweat a couple of times. The hair is starting to puff out at the root, but that's the subject for a whole nother video. But just to recap, You may actually have dandruff, but you may not. You may have atopic dermatitis, which is your scalp responding to an irritating product on the scalp. Petro products, mineral oil, paraffin liquidum, that's your mineral oil, wax-based products, and alcohol-based products. So avoid those at all costs. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. This is just one topic that I'll be covering in my online e-course I'll be introducing soon to you guys. I'm really excited about that because it's going to give a lot of people education that they need on dreadlocks. It's a lot of people out here doing it. I won't say wrong. Maybe wrong is not the right word. But when you do something as long as I've been doing locks, you see a lot of mistakes that happen over the years. And that can actually cost you clients and a lot of money just for not knowing the right things to do. They can help your clients with irritated scalp problems, breakage to the locks, just in general, being able to do an excellent job starts with using the right products. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for taking the time to check me out. You can actually comment any questions that you have in the comments also. Give me some idea what you guys want to see on my channel. Thanks for taking the time to check me out. It's the Locks Lady. Thanks so much. You guys going to be great. Have a wonderful day.